Let's start with yelling.
Hey, are the level...
In war, extreme circumstances call for extreme measures.
No, we're leaving it.
Hey!
Hi,
Hello.
everyone.
Here
Are
we
we
are.
actually here?
We are here.
We actually here?
We should be.
I wonder if that video was silent or not silent.
Well, if it was silent,
I know
we
you
can
heard
interpret
it,
Yeah,
but I did not hear it.
I totally heard it.
That was the silent movie version.
I hope it was.
Of
I hope
the
it was
trailer.
So, for those of you that saw the trailer, that's the first time anybody saw it.
good. Even us.
Even us. That was the debut. Welcome to the official Offensive Combat Open Beta launch. That is now. I'm Jeremy Denham, Manager, Community Narrative.
I am Chris Archer, the Chief Creative Officer.
And I'm Michael Shore, the lead game designer.
And we have a pretty good show for you today. We have a lot of members of the studio that are going to drop by today to celebrate the fact that it's our first day of open beta. Technically, it happened a few minutes ago, but we'll say it's right now. It's right now!
Is it?
Yeah, it's right now.
Yeah, it's... Oh, hold on, hold on. Hey, Alex, can you open it up? Okay. I think now it's open.
He knows he means the game, right?
Yeah.
Nothing else.
Ooh.
Just need to make sure.
Rephrase, can you open up the game? The game. Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
he
good.
was confused, so
Yeah,
I guess
he was.
it really
He's
is
coming
open.
over here now.
So,
What?
We're open beta. That's it.
That's
Thank
it.
you, Alex.
Just hit enter.
You hit the switch?
Did you?
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Sweet. So welcome to the open beta with a 2-hour show. It's going to be a lot of content, a lot of gameplay. We also have Chris Vanderleest, who's playing our game right now. He'll be a guest later. If you want to say hi, Chris, you can. There you go. Perfect.
Hi, Chris. Can I
so,
say hi, Chris?
Yeah,
You
go ahead.
can.
Hi, Chris.
Hi.
Hi. Hello.
Wait.
I'm actually part of a Chris sandwich right now.
Oh, that's just gross.
That's disturbing.
That's just gross.
So here you see...
Just an arm comes comes into the frame.
So to touch on our agenda for the day, and I've got my little handy piece of paper that'll let me know. Our open beta is launched, obviously. We're also going to have a lot of studio guests, as I mentioned, but we're going to be answering your questions, and we're also going to be giving away these, a whole bunch of Offensive Combat T-shirts throughout the day. And
That was just an orange pile of material that he had there. It wasn't a real
it's
t-shirt.
orange.
That's-
It's orange and black.
It's a used
says-
towel from the shower.
It is. It's all. I'll show you real quick. It's our.
I'm already...
It's our cockshot shirt, and it is our just opponent shirt.
It's like
And
Rambo style.
Are you ready for this new technology that we have starting this week?
Well, it's open beta now, right?
Are you ready for the new technology that we have this week? Is that this week when someone wins a shirt, they can tell us their size, and we'll send them the proper size.
No.
Yeah.
What?
True story. Just wanted to let you know.
Cool story, bro.
Turns
Thank
out
you.
that last week there was a big guy with a little shirt and a little guy with a big shirt.
That's right. It was like the setup for some bar joke. But the
Two
good,
guys walking
the
into a bar.
good news is that now we can actually get people something other than a tent. So I think they'll be happy about that. We're also,
I know what you were thinking. I know
Not
it. I
that
saw
kind-
it.
not
I
that
saw it
kind
in
of
your
tent.
eyes.
also want to remind you that if
making a
you
tent
like
out of
anything,
opponent shirts.
if you guys like anything that you see, you can go, as our scroll says right up there, go to offensivecombat.com, play the open beta right now. It's no keys required, no code.
Yep.
You just put in the information that we asked for, and you're in.
Yeah.
Do it.
Just hit
Yeah.
create account and you're in.
We're running a little bit behind schedule, by the way. Just about 5 minutes.
Yep.
But, you know, because we were trying to get that trailer ready to go. We had just got it straight off the presses, so please forgive us. Hope you don't mind.
I'm
that.
gonna move back every once in a while and I'm gonna check our scroller over here and see what's
Sounds
going
like a
on.
plan.
Oh yeah, that is a good idea.
And also, while you see the game playing, which is what Chris is doing right now, please like us on Facebook at Offensive Combat. That's pretty easy to find.
We're likable.
generally
Well,
speaking,
you guys are.
Yeah.
Not today. Today was.
Yeah.
I think that was a personal attack. I think that was a personal attack. No.
Let's just say it was tense a little earlier.
Yeah.
Also, follow us on Twitter at
I'm
Euphoria
gonna have
Games.
your drink.
Ouch.
So,
Smells
Chris,
good.
It's pretty crazy.
No.
Chris,
Oh. You're
What is-
not gonna ask me serious
I am.
questions.
I'm
I don't want to answer serious
professionally
questions.
too. What does this open beta launch mean for the studio, and what sort of content
Let me drink some
are
more
we going
energy
to
drink
see
first.
in the near future?
What
Go
was
ahead
it?
and read it. Here,
What does it mean to
here,
the studio?
yeah. What does
Well,
the
I mean,
open beta-
the key thing is that we're coming out of that time where we're really doing heavy closed environment testing, where it's much more limited in terms of players and things like that. And so we have a really awesome, dedicated closed beta community that some very vocal players out there that have helped us make this this game a lot better, and so that's great. But now we're coming out of that, and so all that work that we did with them has come to fruition, and now everybody else gets to play what they've been experiencing and having fun with for months.
And one of the cool things that that I like is that we're taking we're actually letting people purchase credits now. We are free to play. I was hoping you guys could explain that a little bit for everyone. Explain to them how we're free to play, that we do have in-game currency, and then we also have currency that's separate called credits. If you could explain that whole system and let them know how it works.
Sure, you want me to start?
Sure.
Okay, so I mean, we've talked about this a bunch of times on our broadcasts, and we've talked about it to the press and things like that. And we've designed the game from the get-go to be not pay to win, right? So really a free-to-play experience from the ground up, something that we thoughtfully thought about how the player would progress in the game, and actually give players that don't have a lot of time opportunity to use real cash to actually catch up to players that do have more time. And that's really what the game is about. Almost everything, sans some vanity items, is available via a coin that you get over time.
Yep.
If a guy like me, I don't have as much time as a guy like Michael to play our game every day.
Yeah, I don't know what he does.
I get paid to play the
He
game.
plays it all the time, right? So he's playing all the time. He's getting all this coin and all this XP, and he's getting all of this stuff basically for free. And meanwhile, I have like 1,000 coin, and I don't have any time to get 2,000 coin to get that upgrade. I might drop a little bit, 20 cents, $1, something like that, to actually catch up to Michael. It doesn't make me better at the game. Arguably, I'm worse because I haven't played as long. So, I mean, we always say that. It's like, yeah, sure. If you're an awesome player and you're paying, then you would have a minuscule advantage over the other players.
Yep.
But a guy like me who's just average, right, would still probably lose to you in that fight. However, I would be up to speed in terms of not being on the downside of some
Right.
of the
You'd
upgrades.
have the latest skins, the latest costumes. You'd have the latest guns. If we released a gun today, like you'd be able to access it today instead of having to grind for a day or two to purchase it outright. So.
Yep. And that's the cool thing. And something else we did, and we didn't really mention this last week, is that we actually, we may have, we opened everything up. So we had stuff locked behind level locks before, and we added the skill tree system. And the skill tree system now is what's locked behind these levels. And so you get all these cool abilities on your character now, and that allowed us to actually open all of the other content to all players, no matter what level they are. And so you're not going to get stomped by some guy that has a level 50 weapon at any time. It's just not going to happen. You could get that same weapon and you can stomp them back.
It's now everything's economically locked in a manner of speaking.
That's right.
You have to earn that money to purchase it, but you get to choose that path. You get to say, the first thing I'm gonna unlock is that Furberg because I love that shotgun, and you go right there.
Yeah, get more coin.
That's your goal.
More coin, more stuff, right? And if you don't have enough time, buy some credits to replace your coin inadequacy is what I like to say. Which is what I have, a coin inadequacy.
So one thing that we've gotten a lot of so far in our closed beta leading into today is a lot of feedback. Michael, I was hoping you could talk a little bit about how we've taken the feedback that we received so far and how it's impacted the open beta, even from the time that we gave them the sneak preview a couple days ago to now, and the sort of approach that we're going to take going forward when we react to new requests or feedback, whatever it might be.
Well, yeah, we've gotten a crap ton of feedback from the community. It's we had quite a few beta testers, and they were all very vocal, and they gave us a lot of feedback, whether it was anecdotally in the game or on the forums, written in Word, or even through emails. And we take all of that to heart. We've read through it all. We discuss the ramifications of some of these changes and some of these requests, and it goes to the ringer, and everyone in the studio has a say in how that's going to affect the game. and the prevailing winds of change as they were. Usually, if they're a good idea and it's good feedback, then it gets enacted. And the way we're set up, we can actually do it pretty quick.
How do you determine what is the usable feedback versus the feedback to drown out? How do you balance what is legitimate versus what might just be someone's personal preference and not necessarily speaks for everyone? How do you make that determination?
That's a good question. A lot of it is just sort of experience in terms of like dealing with feedback from the community, and it helps just to be able to look at it from all angles and to go, oh well, this I can see how that would disappoint someone, but I also try to apply what we're doing to the overwhelming majority, and how they're going to experience it, and how maybe a high-level player, a certain decision might disappoint them, but for the majority of players, it would actually increase their, give them a better chance of having a better experience, and ultimately that's our goal, is to have the best experience possible for the most people. As he teabags him.
I'm just laughing
Nice.
at it. And Michael learned that when you're gone for a week in New York doing a press tour, and I'm in charge, that the forum community gets very interested in what the changes are that are occurring. So
it was almost as if they knew I was gone, and they were like, "Oh, we gotta, we better say some stuff."
We did, and that's funny. We did make some changes over the last week, which were, I think, somewhat significant in terms of some of the different, melee and some of the weapons and things like that. All for the better. And I joke with Michael all the time. I go, change is hard. Anytime we put anything in, it's going to be hard for people to deal with right away. But two things. One, we think about what people are used to in other games. And we've always said we're not going to just change something for the sake of changing it. We're going to try to have people feel comfortable and like it's familiar right away.
It's never arbitrary.
It's
never ever arbitrary.
So there's always a rhyme or reason. So we still want that feedback. The forums are still open. I know we're going to be promoting those as well. We still want that feedback because we are still, even though we're in open beta, we still want the feedback, and we still are going to continue to improve the game.
Yeah, there's still functionality that needs to be polished.
Absolutely.
There's minutia details that still need to be kind of tweaked and fixed. So,
should I slide back?
And speaking of forums, one thing that you might have seen earlier when we posted on our Twitter is we did launch our new forums today. Part of the new system is that they're more reliable. There are a lot more features, and we're going to be taking a lot more feedback in different ways than just the old school way. We'll have more on that as we continue to work forward. Chris is leaning back to see what's going on in the chat room.
It's a lot of love going on in there right now. It looks like.
Love it.
They're asking about new maps and some other things that we're going to be talking about.
That's a great segue. Let's talk about actually first a kind of an old new map, right? I mean, we had a map in the closed beta called Disinformation that is not currently in the open beta.
Yeah, we just deleted it.
Yeah,
I'm going to take full responsibility for that. First of all, I want to take full responsibility for that because I did actually pull that one from our playlist this first couple weeks, and in doing and looking at the whole project overall and all the feedback and things like that, I know it's a beloved map. It's hard for me to even convince the team to do things like this, but I wanted it to be the fastest and the most streamlined, and because people loved it so much, I needed it to be as good as it possibly could be. And so in that case, we needed a couple more weeks. We had some other things ready to go that were running super fast. Stuff like Turbine, which got a full redo by the guy next to us who you're going to talk to later, who's playing right now. And it looks beautiful, and it runs blazing fast compared to what it did. I want that same thing for Echelon. I know people love it. It's going to come back. I'm going to say it out loud. I'm sorry, yes.
Echelon is the code word.
Code word Echelon, Disinformation is going to come back probably next week.
Next week?
But within 1 to 2 weeks, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah,
I didn't even know that.
Chris and crew, who you're going to talk to later, is getting that thing ready.
Chris and crew. Sounds like a bad 90s dance band.
I don't know. Is it, Chris?
You wear your jeans backwards.
He says a Nickelodeon kids show.
Kids and Chris Incorporated. Hey, I like that. We could both be on it. I love that show.
Can I be part of your crew? He doesn't like.
Sorry, Michael.
And what sort of changes are we going to see in it, if any? Are there any major changes happening, or
no.
is it just that it's just one of those things where, like Chris mentioned earlier, that we just didn't put it in?
We're going to see. We're going to see
the map.
Wow.
We're going to see. I believe we're going to see new trees. Did we get a new terrain for it as well.
We did
Yeah.
get new terrain.
But those are minor in terms of, well, they don't change the layout at all, really. But it's mostly performance changes and enhancements that are the big deal in this map. It'll run a lot better, especially on lower-end machines.
Yep, that's the big deal. You know, we want everybody to be able to play and have a fast, fun experience, and so we're going to keep optimizing it. It's not going to be, we're not going to stop there. All the other, is that funny too?
No,
She said
no,
that
I
too?
just can't stop laughing.
Yeah.
I just looking
All
at
the
double
maps, all the
entendres
maps
and
are going to
everything.
continue to
Yeah,
get the
I'm
same love.
listening for...
They're all going to get more love. You're just waiting for me to say
I'm
one
waiting
more thing.
for, so I can be...
I just
that's
got to
what-
drink another full energy drink. What's our next question?
Well,
Oh, we're
next-
taking.
Yeah, we're taking. We're
Oh,
taking.
taking QAs. Let me.
questions.
I'll throw them at you guys.
All right,
and so what do we have? Got some technical things. Those are always fun.
As the crew comes in. Hey, Richard, could you close the door for us also, please? Thanks. That's Richard. He's our
Richard,
CFO.
CFO.
He pays for everything.
Throw down, buddy. Come on. Oh yeah.
Yeah, thanks for paying for everything. I appreciate it.
Thanks for paying us.
Very, very good.
You know, there's. Yeah, I think it's. Is it time to give out maybe a T-shirt?
Yes. I think it is time to
Because
get
I
that
think we're
t-shirt.
getting a lot of awesome commentary, but nothing that's really too quick. I guess everybody finally knows what our game's all about. That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, the good news is, well, there is one thing, and I do see a question coming up there, and that's, is there going to be a tablet or iOS version? It's in our press release that went out as our broadcast
Yeah.
started. We clarified that a little bit. It's not specifically a port of this game. It's something set in the offensive combat sort of
That's right,
universe,
that's right.
mythos, whatever you want to call it.
We're still not talking details about it, but it is a complementary product, meaning it will be something that feels a lot like the game, but is in a different genre. But something where players can play and they can actually do things in the game that actually progress them in. Do things on the mobile that actually progresses them in this game and also gets them rewards they won't otherwise get
Yeah.
unless they play the mobile.
It's very
Also
connected.
There's also some cool things where once you start to get other friends playing the game, you'll see the benefits of that and playing that while you're playing the PC experience, and we'll start to reveal those things soon. So I'm excited about that too.
So here's a shirt we're going to give away. It's just Pwn It. Because Chris and Michael are our guests, I'm going to let them pick the person who gets to win it.
Yeah, I'll read out some of these fun ones. So what are we asking people this
Well,
time
I
to
always
win the
like to
shirt?
ask why they want the shirt, to give us a good reason why they want it, and usually the best reason is usually entertaining. So I think it's worth doing.
Okay.
So let's say go ahead and pick one.
Well, I'm going to answer a question while it's revving up. So it says it's a console FPS that's dedicated to multiplayer.
Yes.
Absolutely.
It's a console quality first-person shooter in a browser that's free to play. So
Yeah.
high quality first-person shooter in a browser. So top-notch game experience, but immediate and on basically whatever PC or Mac platform you're on.
No download needed.
By the way, you can't register for the beta right now because it's open beta. You don't have to register.
Yeah, so
Just
go
play.
So the difference between closed beta and open beta, in case you don't know out there, and I know a lot of people do, is that you just don't need a key anymore.
Yep.
So all the guys that are playing you right now, they already were in the closed beta, and they're playing against you guys. All the new guys that are coming in straight through the front door and not having to put a key in.
And this is the closed beta that you're seeing right here that Chris is playing for us. And I think it's time to go with a T-shirt and take our first break to get in the next crew of folks. So before you guys go, do you have a winner for the shirt?
Nobody wants the shirt. So
So no one gets it. Fine.
somebody's. I want to answer some of these questions too before
Yeah.
we switch over. It's like, what the f does console quality mean? Consoles are shit in console. I think it's an interesting question. I've heard this comment before. Console quality is kind of a generic term that the industry uses more often than people like users and consumers to basically say it's high quality. It's the best quality console. There's plenty of crap console games, but when we
Sorry.
well, that's
No,
true.
I'm laughing
That's
at
true.
this guy. He said, "Hey, I want it because I need a shirt."
He probably
Pretty good reason.
he wins automatically. Console quality, generally speaking, means top quality, right? And that's kind of what people think of it in the industry. And so when we say console quality, we really mean another acronym, AAA or high quality or whatever. Something really good quality. PC games that are free to play are typically viewed as negative, right? They're not of good quality or they're cheap or whatever it is. And our whole goal from day one has been to sort of break that mythos and actually create something that's a very high quality with a very small team, which we've done, that can compete with the best of the best in the industry. So calling it console quality or high quality in a browser is pretty awesome. There's just nothing like it.
And what was the name of the person that you decided who won?
It was.
Was it Jalix Brown?
No, it was. It was SAHI 3211.
SHA.
Yep.
So you.
Sahil. Sahil 32111. If you are a bounty hunter robot.
All you have to do is send a private message to Offensive Combat right there through Twitch TV. Let us know your details, your size, your preferred size of your shirt, nothing else. We're not that kind of studio.
Apparently there's 3,210 other Sahils. I didn't know.
In the chat room or just in existence?
No, I just didn't know there were that many Sahils. But
send us a private message through Twitch TV. We'll get it back to you. We just need your address and your shirt size.
And
let us know. Don't forget, we had a couple people last week that
didn't
said
send
thanks
us
and didn't send it.
Yep.
So
send us that information.
And guess what? You just got their shirt.
That's right. No, that's why I have it, because it's left over.
If you actually send us your information.
Sahil, send us a private message, not in the chat.
That's right. Yeah, don't give us your details in the chat room, because then everyone will know where you live.
Yeah, send us a PM.
And you don't want that.
Well, maybe.
Right.
Just depends.
Well, I wouldn't want
So
that.
what do you want to do next? Do you want to take a couple more questions? Do you want to run over and grab them, and
I'll run over and grab them.
Okay.
And then, and it might be a good opportunity for us to play the trailer again, maybe, for those just joining us. That's one.
Is there going to be sound?
I got to.
Yeah.
We got haters on the board. This is awesome.
Oh, sweet.
Already, this is awesome. Sorry to bust their balls, but it's not of good quality. I'm like, is he playing? Maybe he's seeing it in the video.
Yeah.
He has low end. I think it's pretty damn awesome for in a browser. I don't think there's anything that comes close to this. So
no.
But I'll let our community tell them that. But we're excited about it. I think we just went on a press tour. They were ecstatic about the quality. They're just not seeing anything like this in a web browser. There's not seeing this a lot of times on PC or even on consoles. So. And we love those games that I think these guys love too when they get angry about us saying that it's high quality. I think that there's tons of great high quality games out this year, so it's tough for us, and we're Indian, so give it a try, see how it feels. Yeah,
not Indian. That's
no,
what I thought I heard.
Indie.
Yeah.
Well,
Indie too.
So, before we go and before we lose,
I'm Irish German, not Indian.
Sahil doesn't understand how to PM us, so.
So all you have to do is just click on our name, and there should be an option, Offensive Combat up there. You'll have the option to send it to somebody. Private message. It's part of the bar that you can look at. Feel free if that doesn't work for you, Sahil, then hang in there. I'll see if there's an alternate way before the end of the show to get it to you. Just hang tight.
He found it.
Dublin's going off.
Yeah, that's what I was laughing about.
Of course.
We are indie.
Rare form.
We're an indie developer.
I wonder if Dublin Johnny, who's one of our longtime fans, by the way, and has been with us probably from day one of the closed beta. I wonder if he's discovered some of our secrets yet.
Hey Dublin, have you played Shortest Yard? Have you seen that new map?
Yeah, you should check it out. There's
what do you think?
Little homage to
you should let us know what you think about that map.
So I think now's a great time to play the trailer, and you can let us know if it's coming through properly. Thank you, guys. We're going to switch you out for some.
How dare
some
you?
new Sorry.
We
have other guests, man.
Why don't you go get them? Go get them.
Go get them.
Because I'm going to run the trailer.
Oh, you're going to run the trailer?
Yeah, we're going to run the trailer.
We're going to run the trailer.
It's going to be Spencer and Chris Vanderleest.
Here, I'll switch out with
Spencer. You'll see it in a
Spencer.
second. There's going to be a small moment here where we switch back to the trailer.
Okay, here we go.
Hit escape for me.
Hit escape.
No.
Michael.
Round ended. That's good enough.
That's good. Hit escape. There you go. Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to rewind.
And unmute.
And here we go.
In war, extreme circumstances call for extreme measures. circumstances call for extreme measures. In war, extreme circumstances call for extreme measures.
This is gonna be a
Hey,
train
we're
wreck.
back. Welcome.
Hey guys.
This is
Wow.
This is Spencer Kern and Chris Vanderleest. Chris was actually just playing for us. Spencer is our lead artist. Chris Vanderleest is the environment artist. I asked him earlier if he has a more lengthy title.
Yeah,
And
really.
he gave me like 8 different titles.
There, yeah, there's about 8 different titles.
Yeah.
Most of them are, office troll. I think I'm a good benchmark for the average troll on our forums.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think I'm the one spouting most hate in the office, I would say, is probably accurate.
I don't know about that. I think you're probably up there, but I wouldn't say the most.
All right, fair enough.
They shall remain nameless, but oh, maybe. I don't know. Anyway, so a couple things before we get started. These guys are both artists. It's also the first time they've been on the show, and I'm glad they're actually here because we get quite a few questions through the forums and in the chat about art. So I think it's good that you guys can actually answer some for us. But I was wondering if we could start off by you guys maybe talking a little bit about what it is specifically that you do in the game individually, and how your roles differ.
All right. Well, I mean, the broadest stroke is we make the environments. That's kind of self-explanatory. But it goes beyond that. Like, we do a lot of the research to figure out what we want the environment to look like, how to take the frame that the designers give us and slap a nice coat of paint on it and make it look believable and interesting. I mean,
Yeah, a lot of back and forth with the designers trying to get a map that not only plays well but looks looks well as well. That was a lot of wells.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's. Well, please do. Oh, that I'm the Vanderbeastie? You guys don't love me? There's some hate.
You've been beasting people.
They just need to. They need to get a little bit better at the game, obviously,
Well,
don't they?
if they want a little extra stuff to maybe praise you for, is that Chris also does the VO. So all the different bits of VO that you've heard. If you watch a stream before, you already know that he's done all the VO for that.
So it's more to hate on if you hate it.
That's
More
right.
to love on if you love it. I'm good either way.
yeah, you're happy.
I'm
you
happy.
Get paid.
I
You
get
don't care.
paid regardless.
Yeah.
Mostly. Yeah. No. To what we were saying, it's. I think, as far as our roles differ, there's a lot of overlap. Spencer does a little more of everything, and I'm a little more environment art specific. But we've had a lot of overlap during our time here, especially because a lot of our time here was just the two of us.
yeah.
So
By candlelight?
Oh God! All right, you're off the stream. Yeah. I don't know if.
There's a lot of misconceptions about what it is that an environment artist does. I know that in past titles that I've worked on, and that sometimes people just think it's as easy as just dropping something in a level. Put a house there, put a car there, and change a sight line. Is it really that easy, or what is it exactly that an environment artist does to create the level that they see?
That's exactly right. We go, we buy stuff from Turbo Squid, we plop it in. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Now you want to jump in on this?
I mean, basically, it's like we not only drop the cars and place the trees, but we're also the ones that are making the trees. I mean, we don't have anyone sitting behind the scenes giving us stuff, so like we have to go out. If we want a building, we have to make the building. And
well, I mean, we have to concept it usually ourselves. We don't really have a dedicated concept team here. You know, we have to figure out what kind of textures we're going to want on it, what we want it to look like.
Go ahead and play, dude.
Build it. You know, we have to work with the design and figure out, you know, exactly what we can do art-wise that isn't going to affect them negatively. Collision, things like that. You know.
I think the best part is it's all a trade-off, because like we'll get something back from designers and there's just a big cube in the middle of a space, and it's like, all right, so this is supposed to be a castle. What can we make this cube? And then we just have to like be creative and think, okay, this cube, maybe it's a grand hall or an entrance to something. And I think it's that trade-off is what makes it fun, is trying to figure out what something can be, even if it's nothing at all.
Yeah, definitely.
So one of the things I think is a really great question to have for you guys is that given that this game runs in a browser and it's not downloadable, it's not installed, does that change the way that you approach creating the art for the game in any way? Does it make it more difficult to create objects? If you're more mindful of the memory, does that change anything at all, or do you lean more on the technology programs to kind of take care of that for you?
The programmers have been absolutely great. They've really, I think, allowed us to do a lot that we haven't been able to do, or we wouldn't have been able to do otherwise. But there is certainly a trade-off. Are we all? You're tapping?
Yeah,
all right.
What's up? Okay.
Oh, you're
I'm
muted.
needed. I'll be back.
We'll keep chatting.
Go ahead.
We'll keep chatting. Looking at game sound is a bit high. I don't care about that. Got DC. What were we talking about?
How to make the game look good and still be performant. So, I mean, really, we try and do everything we can to make it as good looking as possible. We pull from all of our previous experience working on console games and next-gen titles, and really, not as much changes as you think working on a browser game. It's all about working smarter. So, just planning ahead, making sure, like, okay, if we're going to make 10 cars, how can we make one car
and make it visually good enough without making actually 10 cars? There's a lot of reuse. We try and get as much bang for our buck. You know, if we're going to make a texture, we're going to use that texture. If we're going to make a mesh, we're going to use that mesh or that model as much as we can. So, you know, we try and get as much fidelity, as much uniqueness, while reusing as much as we can.
I think a lot of people are surprised by a lot of times when they see this and then they realize it's in a browser. I mean, can you guys speak to make stuff look just good, right? From the start, we always sort of beat our heads against the wall. I mean, it's so good. Can you speak to that at all? Like, you know, like the challenge in that?
Well, we start off making it look good, and then you guys tell us no and make it look less good.
That's true.
And so it's a battle.
So when I say, so when I say, yeah. So when I say, it kind of was that. Is the game up too high again? Okay, here, give me the mouse and all.
All right, we're having some
it's up
sound
way too
issues.
high. No, we're good. We're good. Yeah, here you go.
We can just talk louder. I can scream into the microphone.
Yeah, it doesn't help because
No?
it just drowns it out. Hopefully that's better. So yeah, so it's a challenge. It's a challenge when you have people going like me going, make it look better, and you guys are like, we can only do so much, Captain.
With the restrictions you placed on us.
And I know that's a challenge. But you know, from an art perspective, I mean, I think you know the leadership here. A lot of us came from sort of the console world, and that's about fitting really cool looking stuff in small packages, being smarter about shaders and shader optimization, how we do it. Can you talk a little bit about, you know, we sort of hit a point where we changed the art style a little bit so that we can sort of support a technique that we're using where we're actually painting the textures instead of doing a lot of other techniques.
I mean, from the get-go, we wanted it to be somewhat stylized so that it helps push us away from the Call of Duties and the modern and all those games like Battlefield and stuff. But also by doing the stylized nature, it's like we can rely more on maybe having more geo to help lend itself to the shapes rather than trying to make all these huge textures and everything like that. So this way we get away with smaller textures that are just as detailed but more robust geometry to help support that texture detail.
That's cool. Hold on one more second. Hey Josh, can you hit escape real quick? And can you turn that volume meter that you have there?
Slider,
Just mute that right there.
Kill it.
Go to
Boom.
mute. There we go.
Yeah.
And bring it over here, and I'll turn it up a little bit over here. I think that was the problem, was that we didn't turn the volume back on. Okay.
Sabotage.
Yeah.
Hopefully that will fix it. At the least, you can see it in the background, and you can hear us talking. So that's important too, because we're way more important than that.
We're very exciting conversation here about
so
the
he has some other
details of environment
He's
art.
like blah blah blah.
blah,
This is
blah.
all denim stuff. I'm like,
Terrible.
You know, what do I want to talk to you guys about? Personally, I would like to congratulate you guys on making a really awesome looking game. So I know that a lot of people on the outside have been commenting, that way. I got to go on the press tour recently, so they fall in love with it.
We've been overjoyed recently to actually have not only the bandwidth, the extra manpower and all that stuff to really make these levels look like we wanted them to. Early on we had a really small team, and it was just so much work just to get the map done at all that we weren't really having as much time to polish it as we wanted to really give it that extra punch. And lately we've had a chance to do that, and it's been really rewarding.
And this is new stuff too, right?
Yeah.
A couple of new maps got
Yep.
thrown together in really short order and are looking really good. And those are the two maps that we launched in here.
Throw a shout out to one of our awesome programmers, Justin, who's been kicking butt on some of our shaders and really helping us optimize things and help everything perform and look better than it has before.
Yeah, I've never seen in a browser. This is like I've never seen like a shader, a water reflection shader.
Yeah.
Remotely close to a browser. You barely see that in most games.
Sure.
The sort of reflective pools, and so you got to put a bunch of stuff in with
Yeah.
those levels that
Yeah.
like you just don't see a lot of times even in top PC.
Yeah, we've got some levels coming out that I'm very excited to show you guys.
It's still up too loud?
Didn't we mute it?
Yeah, we
I
have
thought
it all
we
the way
muted
down.
the sound.
It is all the way down.
You want me to? I'll put it in my mouth.
Hello, testing. Oh, sorry. You should see us. We do a lot of. It puts the lotion on the skin when we're testing the audio. I guess switching back and forth between the video and the game has caused some
issues.
some volume issues. So hopefully that's fixing it.
Keep it down,
I don't
Josh.
know. The game sound is still on. It says. I don't know how it's still on
So
at this point.
Target Quake _
Can you go
TV
into,
has said that
sound
he wants
settings?
Canada Banana to stop playing the game, and you know what? I'm going to second that because he kills me
Turn
entirely
that
too
all
much.
the way down.
I have a lot of love for you, Canada, but you need to stop killing me. I think that's really the biggest thing.
So game sound is off. Okay.
Awesome.
So there you go. That's better. We'll just.
Well, he
we'll
worded it that, but we can hear you now. That's kind of odd.
Oh,
Do they
so
not
it
wanna
was
hear us?
fixed? So turn it back up a little bit, Josh. Hey, Josh, can you turn it up? Can you turn it down? Can you turn it up? Can you turn it down? This is, by the way...
I can talk louder.
No, don't ask Chris to talk louder. Chris thought up a new motto for the office, which I appreciated because of the laughter that it ensued, but also did not appreciate. But this is a pure case of working harder, not
Work
smarter.
harder, not smarter. That's how we like to do it around here. A lot of people prefer the other way, but I say F it. No, like Spencer should be here until 2 in the morning
And
every
here's
night.
and
That's
here's
how
the
it
thing,
should-
and
that's how
I'd
it
like
should
to
be.
tell Chris right here, he's one of the hardest. He's one of the hardest working.
No,
guys
I'm taking
here.
credit because I'm working harder.
Oh, did
not
I actually
smarter.
give credit? Oh,
Yeah, that
sorry.
was Ryan.
Ryan, come in here.
Come here,
Show
Ryan.
your face.
Come on.
Come on. Actually, Ryan said it. And you know
Wait,
what?
now
Chris
po-
and
come on.
Ryan, you're two of the hardest working guys I know.
Let's pose it. We are because we're two of the dumbest people I know. So I
wasn't saying that. That was
wasn't
not-
it?
Let's ask him.
not happy.
Come on in, Ryan. We'll talk to you too. Come
Hey,
on.
you want the
in.
headset? A little speaky?
What? Hey, let's do this. What? Oh, here. I know. What, I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna save this question. No, I'm gonna save this question. Actually, give that back to him real quick. I got one question for him. All right. What is your favorite melee weapon? Was the next question.
Oh no.
I think most people already know the answer to this, but it has to be the boxing glove or the perch, as I like to call it. I find the perch to be obviously the best weapon in the game, and I feel like anybody that isn't an idiot would know.
I'm gonna tease a little something today because we were
Perch.
chatting about something
We
this
were.
morning that was pretty awesome, and so I'm gonna tease the fact that we've been working on we've been working conceptually on a new
Spoilers.
consumable that will do some things with melee weapons that
are gonna be
people
awesome.
We'll have a lot of fun with. So
be really
so not
cool.
only will they do the normal stuff, but we'll be able to do something greater and more awesome. So excited about that.
Totally.
I'm actually looking forward to that a lot.
Looking
What
forward
else
to
do we got on
punching
here? We
people.
said Spencer.
Punch.
So Spencer. So this is a question. This is a question I would ask too, because I'm one of the guys that makes this happen for you all the time. So how much work is it to do all the artwork all the time
This
for everybody.
may have been my doing, and I wanted you to go ahead and
Because
answer this.
and I would say right now that I'm probably one of the prime reasons why Spencer
are
this question exists.
the bane of his existence.
But not the only one.
No.
I mean, there's lots of different stuff, right? As the lead, there's websites and splash screens and in-game art and textures and shaders and all this other stuff.
Yep.
You know,
UI, environments, characters, animation, the whole shebang.
Thing.
how much work is it?
It's a ton of work.
How much work is it? Hardest working guy in the office.
Yeah,
In some
Do
cases,
you, do you remember what your apartment looks like? I think that's what people want
Barely.
to know. Okay.
I think I have a dog. I really don't know.
Is he alive?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean it's a ton of work, but it's also good to have the team here because really I just help with like putting out the fires, picking up the tasks that no one else wants to do, really, and making sure everything else is running smooth.
That's not true.
Yeah.
He does a lot. He does a lot more than that.
Sure.
No, I mean I
have to.
there's a lot of stuff. No. Where credit's due, So all the stuff that you see that isn't specifically a weapon or environment stuff in general, which you've been off of for a little while.
Yep.
But all the early stuff, like I'll tell you, slums.
Yeah.
Right. You guys worked on that together.
Yeah, it was the two of us.
Spencer was
from
primary
Slums
on that,
Yep.
and he did a ton of work on that. Series was almost all you.
Oh,
No, that was.
And then a redo, right?
Hey,
was that
that's-
you? Oh, almost all you.
Are you-
I'm sorry.
oh.
I'm sorry. I flip flopped that. Sorry.
No.
And then we had Echelon, which was really
that was everybody.
You two, and then a couple other guys that came on, and now we've gotten a bunch of guys, and so now
Yeah.
and they helped redo Turbine.
Got a great
right?
team of guys now that
Helped-
are really
helped,
cranking out our artwork.
we have some upcoming maps we're not talking about, and they've
Yeah.
Those
worked
are
on
gonna be badass.
worked
Yeah.
on those for
Very
the last
excited
couple
to
of months.
unveil those.
And so we don't just have what we're currently looking at, right? So how did I mean?
Environment team's been busy, guys. We're gonna let you know that.
So
Been
yeah,
busy.
I'm like I do all this juggling, and I say this is what we're going to put out, and then to tell them not specifically, but how much stuff is there that's
Waiting.
not currently
that's
put in the game?
waiting in the wings.
There's a ton of stuff.
Characters and
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we have characters.
and-
Phones and guns up the wazoo.
got-
Like
how many environments do you think we have sitting on the sidelines right now, waiting?
At least
for people?
4.
Yeah. So
I mean,
there's just a lot of content that we're
Yep.
going to be handing out as it's perfect and
yeah,
people-
and not only the new maps, but changes and polishes to the old maps. I mean, you guys have seen during the closed beta, the guys that have been in the closed beta, you've seen updates to the maps pretty consistently. I mean, really huge visual changes, performance optimizations. That stuff's going to keep going on. We're not done with the old maps yet, so that stuff's going to keep churning and burning as we find issues and fix them. And then, like we said, the new maps, we got like 4 probably waiting in the wings and more to come. So
I mean, I think this brings up a good point too. Like, disinformation. Everybody loves disinformation, and literally the only reason you guys don't have it is because we are trying to make it better for you.
yeah.
Like everyone loves it, but we're gonna make it even better. Hopefully,
Yeah.
you guys will play faster, run faster, jump higher, all that stuff.
for everybody, right? Because the guys with the most awesome machine aren't our only target. We want everybody to
Yeah.
be able to play. We want to be able to play at home. We want to be able to play on our laptops and everything. And,
Yep.
and that takes a lot more hard work and optimization and poly reduction and making sure every little checkbox is checked. And we went through a lot of that. The game's
Yeah.
so much faster for a lot of reasons.
Yep.
Some technical, but also some art. I don't think people sometimes realize how important it is to make sure that all of the objects that you make look so cool. A lot of that is faked, right? It's the shader sometimes makes it look
Yeah.
round and surface and things like that, and it's actually a pretty rigid
Yeah,
polygonal surface.
the normal
so-
maps and all that stuff really helps to sell things that we can't do with Geo.
Sure.
But I don't feel. I mean, like you said, a lot of us came from console games, and I don't feel that restricted. Like I was
That's
afraid when I started that we were going to be really restricted, but the guys we have working here and Unity too, like it's all come together to really be a pretty good creation process.
That's
all
very
things
cool.
considered.
Technical issues.
Josh, come on.
Let's get
come
some.
on, man.
Let's do some questions, guys. So,
All right.
this is in a browser. Yes, it is.
Faster art.
I
yes,
see it.
faster art.
Faster, and
What does that
that kind of is
mean?
that kind of is what you guys are doing. I mean, you're
Yeah.
doing beautiful faster art, right? So things that actually run faster but are actually more beautiful.
Yeah. So
What else do we got? How can the game be free? They need to pay their bills, right? No, it's not Kickstarter. I mean, it's free to play with microtransactions. So
So
this
please
is
buy stuff.
yeah, we want people to buy stuff. So go in and buy stuff. And really, it's time for money, right? So all those cool things that these guys have built, whether it be levels or whether it be characters, things like that. These all lead up to, hey, you know, if you want to buy into an item quicker, then you can pay some real cash and you're in.
Totally.
Uh-oh. Are we we have a special guest?
Oh,
Are you coming in?
come on, Justin.
Come on,
Yeah,
say
ooh,
hi.
here we go.
Whoa, whoa.
We got the
too
some,
many.
couple
Too many
of
smart
awesome
people coming in.
programmers and
Justin and Alex.
Yeah.
Are you guys on? Oh, there they are.
all right.
Lead programmer
Oh,
test.
what do we have a mass
Oh, wow.
exodus here?
So
It
Justin,
must be coffee hour.
Justin's the one who makes everything look better.
Yeah.
And run faster.
Yep.
That's
This
good
is the
too.
guy that's making your gaming experience better. This is the guy that's making it funnier.
Oh, wow. Yeah, exactly. So,
No, that's
Who did?
No. What?
you made it yourself?
He does do all the art.
He does. He does
actually.
all the art. He does
We
all the
don't do
sleeping
anything.
too, because he does my job.
Can we get a little phone?
And Evan and Evan back there,
Yeah.
that's hiding
There
behind
we go.
Justin.
Beautiful.
Did all the UI, all the code on the UI side. A lot of
Menu
some of the
master.
art too. So
Mhm.
there you go.
Yeah.
Worked with Spencer, who also did a lot of the UI work.
A lot of
There
bug
you go.
fixes, performance, a lot of good
And
stuff.
Dunham's back.
Dunham's
He's ready
back.
to take his
He's
show
ready
back.
to kick us out of here. They're tired of us.
Okay, guys.
All right. Okay.
Here we
All
come.
right.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys later.
All of us. We're just all gonna leave at the same time. I'll wait a second and let Dunham in here. Thanks, guys. More to come. Are you gonna? You want to play the trailer? Okay. There's only one thing we need to do. We just need to turn the volume up on that one. So I'll let you do that, Dunham, and I'll stay on. There we go. Oh. Perch. You already got it playing.
In war, extreme circumstances call for extreme measures. In war, extreme circumstances call for extreme measures. In war, extreme circumstances call for extreme measures.
Yep.
Welcome back. That was our trailer. We watched a couple extra times. We had to wait in our and guys, you guys
Well, this is Blaine. I'm Ben Coleman, level designer.
And I'm Blaine Higdon. I'm the gameplay and weapons designer.
And you guys have some really integral roles in the game, and that you make a lot of decisions in what basically ends up on the screen in front of us right now. You guys make the game playable, right? Or at least Blaine does. What do you do?
I stand behind the artists and tell them what to do.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Perfect. No, so specifically, so everyone knows that Blaine works on the weapons. He does a lot of the weapon creation, and by that I don't mean the art. I just mean the concepts, how they work, the tuning, and all that other stuff. And Ben actually creates a lot of levels that you see playing here or that you've played yourself. And remember, if you do want to play Offensive Combat, as you see on our scroll up there, go to offensivecombat.com. Right now, there's no key required. You just need to sign up, and you can start playing immediately. There's no key. There's no special anything outside of just knowing how to click a mouse in order to get in and play the game. And it's also, I think, a good reminder for us to say, if you like Ben, you can follow him on Twitter. What's your Twitter, Ben?
It's Ben M. Coleman.
There you go.
That's
Blaine's
it.
not on Twitter. You don't believe in it.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
no,
not a very
no.
social guy.
He's on
Okay.
MySpace, I think.
And
Friendster.
And you can follow Euphoria Games on Twitter, too. At Euphoria Games, right there on the screen. And like us at Facebook at Offensive Combat. Back to you guys real quick. Blaine, let's talk about the weapons for a second.
Yep.
You do a lot of work on the weapons. Every day it seems like there's a new email letting us know exactly what you've changed, and there's always a lot of it. How do you determine what to change and whatnot, and how do you know when something's right versus not right?
Well, it's a combination of like gut feeling and playtest feedback, as well as player metrics in the closed and now in the open beta. We're always collecting data on which weapons are being used the most often and which weapons are scoring the most kills in which situations. And I compare that data and the mathematics in the spreadsheets that compares all the weapon statistics, and I make sure that we're hitting the marks that I want to hit for each weapon.
Like the weapon that we see being used right now, well, not exactly right now, because we have the screen up, but once the round starts, that's tell us a little bit about that weapon in particular.
I will have to see what weapon it is he's using.
It was the Havoc.
Okay.
Oh, it's the Razor?
It's the Razor, of course.
Oh, the Razor. Okay, well, the Razor's been pretty infamous because it was overpowered for a long time, and I think it is probably still a little strong right now, but I'm very happy with where it is right now compared to what it was during closed beta. Mostly, the most recent thing I did with the weapons was I reduced the ranges of the SMGs significantly, which solved the problem where people were just using the Razor as a killing machine, throughout the whole match, pretty much using it as a primary weapon. And that was not my intention for the SMGs. They're supposed to be extremely deadly up close, but not versatile enough to be used throughout the entire match.
Is it fair to say that the weapons will always be a work in progress regardless of the weapon, or is there ever going to be a point where we hit a certain weapon and say, yes, that's exactly where it is, and we'll probably just leave it be?
Well, the ideal is we want to hit that for every weapon. Realistically, we're probably going to be tuning for a while, but I think we're at a pretty nice place with every weapon, and I think as far as tuning from here on, it's not going to be major changes like that range nerf. It's going to be just slight adjustments in either direction for individual weapons.
So you've also made some adjustments based on some community feedback. How do you incorporate community feedback into the adjustments that you make?
Well, it's a balancing act because we have the raw numbers, we have the metrics from all players, but then we have the opinions of people on the forums and, probably all the same people watching the stream right now that are more hardcore about it. We do weigh those opinions a little bit higher because they tend to have, those are the players that play the game the most, they're the closest to it, and they have really good design sense, actually. So we'll take their feedback, we'll compare it to player metrics, and then we will use our own judgment as designers to figure out what to do with it.
Ben, you do a lot of the level design. A lot of these levels.
Yep, quite a few.
And we had Chris on earlier, who's the environment artist. Can you talk a little bit about what a level designer does versus an environment artist? What's the difference in how that works, and how do you guys work with each other?
Well, ideally, from day one, we're working together. As a group, we'll kind of come up with a theme for what we want the environment to be, and then I'll go off and create what is known as a white box or a sketch first. But then I like to take it like into SketchUp and then do a very rough white box mock-up of the level and get it into Unity as fast as possible, so I can show Chris or Spencer, you know, what the level can end up playing like.
Now, we made a lot of adjustments to the levels since the closed beta started up until now when we launched the open beta.
Yeah.
A lot of changes. Disaster Raids
Tons.
is one of them.
Yeah.
Chris mentioned disinformation earlier and how
Yeah.
we've changed that. What are some of the elements you've changed about the maps that you think are impactful that were a direct result of feedback from our players?
Yeah, like you mentioned, the series or Disaster Raids, that was a big example of us listening to user feedback and modifying, well, in that case, pretty much the entire level. Like, we changed the entire layout, cut it in half, basically, changed the flow, and that was all because of community feedback.
One thing that people ask new studios all the time, which before years, we've only been around for a little bit over a year, is what kind of background do you have? I know you guys, I used to work with Blaine directly at our old company, but just so people know, can you tell everyone a little bit about your backgrounds and games you've worked on before, and a little bit about yourself, so they know what kind of pedigree they're dealing with?
Sure. Well, I was an English literature major, so I mean, outside of working in the game industry, what else could I do?
Right.
You know.
I hear you.
Nothing else to do. But I was lucky enough to get into gaming professionally as an intern at Monolith Productions without any like formal, you know, game design degree. We didn't have DigiPen or anything back then, so it was like you met somebody online and they had an internship open. So that's how I got into Monolith, and from there I worked on like No One Lives Forever, Aliens vs Predator 2. The first game was a game called Blood 2, which goes way back. But from there, it's just been, you know, working on shooters, adventure games. Most recently, it was Superhero Squad Online.
Right, so super hardcore games.
Really hardcore games for like 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But another one I want to throw out there that you know I'm a big fan of that I really enjoyed is The Suffering. You also worked on that one.
Suffering 1, Suffering 2, PS2, Xbox games. They're awesome if you're a fan of survival horror.
And how about you,
action.
Blaine?
Well, I started as a design intern at Zipper Interactive, which is the studio that made the SOCOM series. Sadly, they were closed down just a number of months ago.
I didn't hear.
Yeah, and Jeremy and I lived through that. We were there at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens in this industry.
It does.
But, so I was there for 7 years. I worked on multiple SOCOM games, and at the beginning I was kind of a jack of all trades. Like, I worked on all aspects of design, whether it's level design, gameplay, systems, what have you. Later on, during the development of SOCOM 4 is where I sort of landed in the gameplay and tuning and balancing kind of division of design, I guess. And I was also working on the technical design, developing scripting systems, and creating the interface between the designer and the system that he uses to create the game. And so I worked on a bunch of SOCOM games, and I worked on MAG as well before Zipper got closed down, and then we came to Euphoria.
Yeah, and then one last thing to mention that Blaine also did. He was also the co-lead designer on Unit 13 on Beta. Very
Absolutely.
good game, super underrated. Good job. Did you either one of you guys manage to take that vast experience that you have in designing video games, and what are some of the elements that you've used to apply to understanding how the weapons and the map should work in offensive combat? Is there any like do's and don'ts that you took from your previous experiences that you said, yes, that's proven, or that's something we want to avoid that you used to do? And if not, that's cool.
Yeah, I think I was probably giving you a look like no, but in general, the SOCOM games and MAG and Unit 13, they were all much slower paced, more
tactical.
They were more tactical than, I mean, offensive combat is definitely more like Quake or Unreal Tournament. It's a faster paced, more of a Twitch-like reaction kind of game. So, you know, there are some things that you want to take when you're tuning for both environments, but you have to keep in mind what kind of game you are. And so when I started here, I made sure to spend the first week or week and a half just doing nothing but playing the game and understanding the intention behind the game before I dived into tuning the weapons. And that has informed how I've tuned the weapons. Everything from the amount of DPS for SMGs to the range of the SMGs to how variable should the shotguns be, how easy or hard should it be to score a headshot with a sniper rifle, etc., is informed by just the philosophy of the game. What kind of game is it?
Would you say the same is true for level design?
Not in my case, because I came from a background where I worked on a lot of fast-paced shooters, action games, so it was a lot more easy for me to just slip into the role, and there wasn't a lot of shifting gears from one game type to another for me.
Is there a certain sort of theme that you're trying to carry over from level to level in terms of the sort of philosophy behind how you're trying to drive players to certain points of the map, or are you trying to look for them? Is it more of an approach where you want it to be open and let them kind of create their own focal points for the map?
Well, I think one thing that we're trying to do a lot is trying to create several areas within a map where firefights can break out. We don't want the game or the encounters to always end up in one central area. We want people to be able to fight over here and be pushed over to here and over here. So just trying to segment the play space up into several different areas.
We have only a couple minutes left before we invite our next guest on. But before we go, I was hoping that you guys could let everyone know kind of some of the things you're working on. Since you're working on the levels and you work on the weapons, some of the things, without giving too much away, what do you think are some of the next things we're going to see in maybe our next 1 or 2 updates?
That's tricky because, I'm working on a few new weapons. I probably can't say what they are. I hope that you all have fun with them when we're ready to deploy them, as well as some new mods for our existing weapons. We're also always working on different game type ideas. And so I did some of the design work on the hardcore game type. And so me and Gabriel, one of our programmers, we're always messing around with different game types and trying to figure out what's going to be fun. And, we're going to hit on a combination we're going to release.
And we've talked about it before, but if you haven't watched the show before, we do have the hardcore mode that Blaine mentioned that's going to be a lot more... I think deliberate is a good way to put it in terms of your strategy and how you play the games. And what about you, Ben? What in terms of maps?
If people are fans of Diablo 3, Torchlight 2, and like Dark Souls, they might like what we're working on next.
Great.
On the design side. That's pretty much all we could
That's
say
very
about
vague.
that.
And so are we doing like our own League of Legends Torchlight 2 game?
No, it's still in the offensive combat universe.
There you
but,
go.
More of a gothic theme could be
excellent
coming out next.
Let's take 1 or 2 questions from the team before you switch out.
Sure.
Bajan Boop wants to know, gun game? Yes.
It's a game with guns.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Good tip.
And rubber chickens.
And then Bad Superman wants to know, what are some great games that influenced you guys to make this awesomeness? That's a great question.
I think, for me at least, I would say Counter-Strike, Quake, Unreal Tournament. Those are 3 like really big influences for me in terms of how I tune the weapons and such.
Quake, Counter-Strike, Half-Life 2, Left 4 Dead.
I agree with all of those.
Yeah.
Those are very good choices.
Oh, Halo. You can't leave out Halo.
Halo's good.
Yeah.
Particularly the first one. Big fan of the very first Halo. I really, really enjoyed that game a whole lot. And Sahil wants to know when you'll receive my shirt. It takes about 1 to 2 weeks to get the shirt based on how far away you live, so it really depends on the distance. We've had some people get it within 1 week. Other people took 2, but those folks were in Europe, so it depends on where you are. Speaking of shirts, let's give away another one, guys. Go ahead and just pick someone you liked. Each one of you can give away a shirt.
Yeah.
Blaine, you give away the Cockshot shirt.
Okay.
Ben, you give away the Just Pwn It shirt.
It's got to go to Dublin Johnny.
Dublin Johnny.
It's got to go. Yeah.
Okay. But we already gave him a shirt.
He already got one.
We gave him one like last week.
And he got the toilet.
Huh?
So,
Escape.
All right.
he's awfully quiet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we are having...
Well, Target Quake wants some cock.
So, hold on one second. Target Quake. So if you want some cock, why don't you send Offensive Combat an email, and we will definitely take care of that for you.
All right.
But in a totally platonic way.
I think I need to cover up Bobo Smelt. He needs to cover up his junk.
Needs a shirt to cover his junk.
You can have the orange shirt.
So
that's cool.
So those 2 guys, send us a private message to Offensive Combat, and we'll hook you up. Make sure you give us your name and your address. Don't put it in the chat room. Put it in the private message, and it'll take 1 or 2 weeks.
So actually, I haven't given my shirt away.
Hey, Vanderbeest, quiet.
Yeah, I know. Has Jokawa gotten a shirt yet? I always enjoy that guy. Oh, he has. All right. Sorry, Jokawa,
Probably.
you don't get a second shirt.
Whoa.
I see. Yeah, Blaine, this is your brother. Give me your shirt. My brother's in the chat. Sorry, Patton, I'm not going to give you a shirt.
No.
You can borrow one of mine though, if it'll fit you, and I know it will not. And so, has Canna Banana gotten a shirt yet?
Yes.
Dang it.
Yeah, all your picks
All
are
these
going.
classics.
Just
Okay,
pick-
so
just
how
pick one
about
at random?
how about Bad Superman?
Perfect.
Bad
All
Superman.
right, guys. We have a tech difficulty, as you may have seen. We're gonna go ahead and run this trailer. Thank you guys for showing up. We'll be back in about 2 or 3 minutes with the game again and with new guests. Thank you guys for joining us. Remember to PM us to get those shirts, and we'll be back in just a few minutes.
Measures. In war, extreme circumstances call for extreme measures. In war, extreme circumstances call for extreme measures.
And we're back. Yes. Cool. Problem fixed. I hope. Looks good? All right. Gotta love live broadcasting. Yeah, it is. So come on in, guys. This is our art director, Mark Duncan, who's not a rock star despite the way he dresses. Are you a rock star?
Aspiring one.
Aspiring.
Not so much anymore.
Nice. And this is Sabrina Phillips. She's our animator, who we will get out. Man, you came. How much stuff were you carrying?
Are you drinking already?
I'm. That's water.
That is a lot of stuff.
It is.
Come on closer, guys.
I wish.
You might recognize Sabrina from the chat room.
Yeah.
She's in there quite a bit during our Twitch TV streams. And also, I didn't get a chance to mention earlier, but Travis is playing the game for us. We want to say
Stick
hi.
your face in here.
He's another artist. I'm surrounded by artists right now. Everywhere. Thank you very much. Doing a great job playing the game, because I would get killed if it was me.
Is this the microphone that was in
You're
Vader
not
Lee's
Darth
mouth?
Vader. Put this down. There you go.
You guys
Doing.
need smaller headsets.
Hey,
Yes.
was this in Vader Lee's mouth?
Yes.
Awesome.
Sweet. So welcome, guys. So for those of you who don't know, Sabrina is the master of the pwn, as her shirt says. She just pwns it. She creates just about all of them, right? I mean, is that fair to say?
Almost. I mean,
Almost fair.
a lot of our pwns, we actually have this wonderful outsourcing company that do mocap for us, and then I get it back and I clean it up and make it look very pretty.
Hey, what's that? Apparently, we need to make an adjustment.
What?
Switch chairs.
Oh.
What's what? What's going on?
Why?
I don't know.
Okay.
But if someone who's my boss tells me to do it, I'm going to do it. All right. Welcome
shirt.
back.
The shirt.
The shirt. That's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, probably.
So, okay. So, in terms of the pwns, you have done some of the animation yourself, though, right?
Yes.
And
I have.
in terms of the motion capture, and you do a lot of the actual grunt work on the computer. And so, can you walk us through the process? And Travis, if you could, when you play, as soon as you kill someone, pwn, or just show them here some of the pwn options. You're looking at your babies right here.
Oh yes, my lovely, my children right there.
Right. And that one, I remember you specifically
I
demanding.
did. So I am a Asian drama freak, and keep up with Asian pop culture. So when that came out, I sent out an email to which everybody in the office said, "What the hell is this?"
And it lit on fire pretty fast.
And
I mean,
it
it's
did,
now.
yeah. And that one actually, that was supposed to be released a lot later, but we pushed it through and got our art on it and our sound guys on it, and so I'm very pleased with how it came out.
And that's the let's always say, suck it, right? That particular pwn. Very.
What's that?
Which one?
What about second?
Never mind. He just clicked on it. And you guys totally.
Oh,
missed it.
sorry.
Oh.
We're looking at what he was doing.
We're artists. We don't multitask.
That's true. All right, Mark. So, what exactly does an art director do? Because a lot of studios have a lot of artists in different roles, but specifically, what is your role? Are you pretentious? Do you have a beret?
No beret, but I am pretentious.
Okay.
Yeah. Art director, basically, I try to make sure the path is clear for my artists to do what they need to do. Like Spencer and Vanderleest were here earlier. Basically, the more you progress, like if you're a production artist, and then you get up to like a lead artist and you get to art director. The higher you go, the less art you do.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, I try to like manage all the outsourcing for the most part, except for guns. I delegated that to somebody, but and just try to make sure these guys have what they need to get the job done. In animation.
How much influence do you have on the pwns and how that works? Because pwns are one of the big elements of our game that separates us from other shooters, right? And so, was that something that you were involved in the beginning in terms of saying this is something I can get behind, or is it more of a group effort? I mean, tell us a little bit about how those came about.
How the pwns came about. That was actually mostly Archer's idea, as I remember it. From when the company started. I was here like with the original group with Mike and Archer and Spencer and a programmer, Eric, who probably has not been mentioned yet today. I don't know.
He has now.
He has now. Eric. Shout out to Eric. Hey.
Go, Eric. Who also did a lot of work helping me out with the animation system too when I came on board. So
there you go.
Eric is awesome.
And he's also working on that little game we mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
So we're not yet ready to talk about it.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean that was kind of I think everybody was behind that. When it came out, thought it was a cool idea, and getting back to the pwns, what we were talking about. I think everybody thought it was a really good idea. There's a lot of good ideas thrown out at the beginning. Had a lot of fun coming up with like different pwns and trying different things, and even to the point of the original pwns, we set up our own little mocap thing here in house, and a couple of our programmers are doing goofy dances and stuff. And is that pwn still in?
That is still in, yes. I think they changed the name of it from what we had it titled originally. I think it's
What's the pwn name now?
For which one?
DMAC Dance.
It was the DMAC Dance.
Man, I named it too, and I never remember.
Oh,
okay.
I think it's Street Moves. Or no, it's not. It's,
not Street Moves.
I don't know. Don't remember.
One of the goofy dances.
How's that for loving my work?
There you go.
I don't know what I called it.
Happens.
But it's in there.
Cherish it, buddy.
Yeah. Every word is a treasure.
Winning.
Next.
So in terms of the poems, how much feedback do you guys take from the community? I know that you get a lot of feedback in the chat room every week whenever we stream because you're in there. You're very involved in there.
Yeah, and I try to pay attention to the forums too. There's a full thread on the forums that people have been contributing to, and I love it because there's a bunch of them that have come up in suggestions from the public, and it's kind of like, I wish I could tell you everything we have in store because I think you'd be really happy. So rest assured, there is a lot that is taken from there. It is a bit more of a process. You can't just you make a suggestion and it happens overnight. But there is a lot more coming down the pipe, and I appreciate every suggestion that I can get. Send things on the thread on the forums there, and I will take a look at it and most likely try to make it happen.
Excellent. Hold on one second. Can you turn the game sound down just a little bit? We're getting a couple of complaints. Slightly too high. Is that better, guys? Let us know. And while you're letting us know, one other question from the audience who's streaming here.
Oh.
Good. They said yes. Another question from the audience that that we get, and it's for Shore, who's actually in the chat room now. But and that's, are we going to get more maps down the line? You're an artist.
Yeah.
Obviously we are.
Yeah,
you can't really reveal too much, but how often are maps coming up in terms of your work schedule? Pretty often, I would.
Yeah, I think we're trying to get. I don't know exactly. We've discussed different things. We've talked about like releasing a map a month at one point. I don't know. That might be a little ambitious.
Yeah.
But if we can get like a new map every 2 months, if the community's eating it up, that would be awesome.
And one thing that's really helpful also is for the community to kind of let us know what sort of maps they want to see, what this sort of style. And the style, I think, is also a really interesting story about, in terms of offensive combat and how it came about. Can you talk a little bit about how the artistic style of offensive combat originated?
So actually, that's kind of interesting. One of the things that we talked about, starting early on, is that we wanted to have have an artistic style, but not necessarily an artistic theme, if that makes any sense. Like you take something like Halo. Halo is a sci-fi theme. You take Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a kind of, it's a modern day theme. Regardless of what their artistic style is, like Halo's a little more stylized and Call of Duty is a little more realistic, like whatever. But I mean, basically, we wanted to have an artistic style that was consistent throughout all levels, a consistent look to the game, even though we do have a sci-fi level. We have, some realistic levels.
Want some beer there, buddy?
Working hard.
We got a visitor looking for some beer.
This is Justin is.
I thought you were going to start double fisting.
putting
You
it
need to
out.
go.
Yeah, he's a big drinker.
That's why his code's so good.
That's right. One of the suggestions we got in the chat room right there was a Caribbean island style map. What are the chances of seeing something like that one day? Is that the first you've heard of that suggestion?
That's the first I've heard of that suggestion. That could be cool. We've got everything from sort of realistic location ideas to kind of really far out there that aren't necessarily sci-fi. We get some cool things that we're really pushing for.
Excellent. Justin, one other thing, our folks want to let one person in the chat wants to let you know that they think your shirt is sick. Just to let you know. And the chat room in general also wants to let you know that the game needs pirate ships. And a Tron map, which I think would be kind of cool given the history of the game. And at one point, we were sort of leaning towards a bit of a Tron-ish sort of vibe, right?
Yeah. Actually, that very early on, we talked about doing something that was a little more sci-fi skewed, and we decided to get away from like having any specific theme again. So
yeah, is everyone going in the refrigerator?
I'm just making sure they're cold.
Oh, are they cold? Oh, Spencer brought these in, didn't he? The hard ciders? I think he did.
I don't know.
So thank you to Spencer for bringing in the hard cider.
We're losing focus here, guys.
We appreciate it. You know what we should do right
Distracted
now?
by liquor.
Given the fact that you're wearing a Just Ponent shirt, you animate the pones, we should give out a Just Ponent shirt. So if you want this Just Ponent shirt here, Sabrina's going to pick the person it goes to, since it's kind of her thing.
My thing.
Go ahead and let her know right now in the chat room why you want that shirt. She will pick a winner, and then whoever she picks, we'll send you the shirt. It takes about a week or two to get. You want to give away a shirt too? You should. You should give away a shirt too. You should give away this shirt here. This is the Cockshot shirt.
Wait, you give me the cock shirt?
That's right.
This
Why?
stream is cutting.
What are you saying
it would
here?
feel a little strange if I gave that shirt to Sabrina. That's why. It's true. So,
oh my God, this is every day for me.
there you go. So one thing is that I'm an ox and I love free merchandise. That's a pretty good suggestion. If you're wondering what we're looking at, by the way, we have a giant screen behind us. You may or may not be able to see it through my big head, but we have a screen over there
Well
that just
done,
that
buddy.
just it has the time, and now we can't see shit.
Well done.
That's right.
Wait,
Oh my-
where's the controller?
I think Archer ate it.
Oh, here it is.
There
There
you
we go.
And it's back. Perfect.
Wait,
Sorry,
somebody,
that's how
somebody's
I'm very-
naked and brutally scared and needs to cover up. Please help me.
So, our next guests are about to head in. Who do these shirts go to, guys? Because our next guests are coming in.
I'm gonna say the brutally naked person can have the cockshot shirt.
Brutally naked. Okay, brutally naked person, send me a message. 2 offensive combat on the stream. Your name, your address, and we will get this to you in 1 or 2 weeks. Sabrina,
How
who is
about
worthy of your shot?
The StarCraft 2 pros.
Okay, there you go. StarCraft 2 Pros, because you like orange. Send a
Because
private
I
message.
like orange.
And because she likes orange. Send a message to Offensive Combat through Twitch TV at the top. Private message, not in public. We have to keep telling people that because someone did that once. And
Whoops.
and make sure that you give us all the pertinent information to see the shirt in 1 or 2 weeks. Guys, thank you
And
very
The
much.
size. Make sure they tell you the size.
Yes, size
Oh,
is
yeah.
important.
Yes.
Thank you.
Size is important.
You
Yes.
heard it from Sabrina. Size is important. Thanks, guys.
Thanks a lot.
Come on in. We appreciate you. Our next guest is a very special guest because he's everybody's boss. So I'm going to introduce now. Here he is, our CEO, Dusty. Hi. He's getting it. This is also Jay Cheng from Kongzhong, who's our Chinese publisher. Who, unfortunately, I'm going to have to interpretate. He doesn't speak any English.
None at all.
No, never mind. He's good.
I pretty much did it right there.
There we go.
I thought it'd be. I mean, I'll take over for a couple.
Sure,
things.
go for
I
it.
thought it'd be fun. Jay and Kongzon have been such an integral part of our company here. Earlier this year, we found each other as a company. Jay's been in town for the past couple of weeks, talking. We wanted to have him in today to introduce the stream here. And if you've got your following and your fans back home, hopefully they'll be able to watch this as well. But kudos to Kongzon, Jay, Lele, great organization. A lot of what you guys are going to see out there in the game, probably in the next few months, I would say, is a direct result of the relationship our two companies have that are collaborating on ideas that we think is going to be important for your marketplace, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But I think importantly can be something new and innovative as well. I saw some of this one here about PvP modes and other things, and there's certainly some interesting elements that you guys have helped drive us. So that's good. I had a couple questions.
Okay, go for it.
Me,
Go ahead.
I thought I'd have you explain to the audience what the reception for offensive combat I know we've done very little, but it seems like it's been very impactful today.
Yeah, we got Chris out to China Joy Shanghai at the end of July, and we had a chance to get him in the room and the game in the room with some of the top Chinese game media, and I think they basically all loved it. I mean, the China market is a market that there's a lot of FPS games. They're all free to play. There's one game there that's called Crossfire, which has got 4 million concurrent users. So there's some big gorillas out there, but the media who is very familiar with Crossfire and Counter-Strike in the Chinese market really love the fresh take, the irreverence, the ability to have fun again, where everything else is kind of just a straight military shooter. Which so I think we're all excited to bring it to the China market.
So you think that's what's going to resonate most for consumers with the game for the start, is that irreverent nature, that chance to get to be fun again, and
we've already started working with your team of how to put real kind of cool Chinese elements into the game, the maps, maybe some PvE modes, and obviously just kind of when we get local kind of pawns. I think that's going to be really cool.
Yeah, I mean, is there any? We're not going to give too much away here, but is there anything that stands out for you that we've gravitated towards early on that that you've seen in the game here, and maybe the audience hasn't seen it yet, but characters and
some of the maps. I think we've already we had some feedback. One of the most famous and popular maps in China are these really small, close quarter maps where you go in and you die in 2 seconds, or you win in 15 seconds.
So shortest yard for us is one that we're doing.
So I think a lot of that feedback, very collaborative, and it's been a great partnership so far, and we look forward to years of partnership with you guys.
Well, that's good. Well, and shout out to you guys again. It looks like you've done a nice job after you had World of Tanks becoming a very big hit for the territory. Offensive Combat, we obviously believe will be the next important one. I'm going to move your mic in just a little bit there so we can hear you. Offensive Combat coming up next. You just recently signed another deal or two for the territory,
and two other besides bringing World of Warplanes into China with Wargaming. We have signed. We're working with Meteor Entertainment for Hawken. We're bringing Hawken into China, and we also recently signed and are working with ArenaNet to bring Guild Wars 2 to the Chinese market.
Congrats! Yeah. Great properties, and we're excited to be with you guys on that.
Absolutely.
Let me take a different steer here for a second, but I wanted to introduce Jay here, and he obviously stay here, and maybe we'll have some more questions for you.
Okay.
But I would be remiss if I didn't take the time, and I've got my notes here because I've got several things I want to go through. But I'd be remiss if I didn't take the time to thank you guys, our audience, for your support and the feedback that you've given to us in the game, in the forums, through Jeremy. In the streams here, reading all the text that comes up. We really appreciate it. It's made a difference for us, for this company, and for our game. And we hope that you'll continue that process through.
And just to be clear, if I can, Dusty, you know he said through me, I'm not a medium. So if you have any loved ones that you're trying to reach, I can't do it. Go ahead.
Nicely played.
Yes.
I do have to send a special thanks out to the backing and strategic guidance from our investor community. And great partners like yourselves, obviously. But kudos to the team out there who has believed in our vision and the goal we set out for ourselves. Today, going to the open launch is just really phase one for this organization of what many successful days will be for the company. But thank you for our early investors in Series A and Series B, and appreciation and faith. Special thanks section here. I do want to thank Dan Block and family there for all their help. Kudos for your support in the early days. Jason Chu, who is now an employee of our company as well, as VP of Business Development, but Jason in the early days was very supportive of the company. Jason Rubin, former Naughty Dog, now at THQ. Vince Ampella, former Call of Duty developer, and now at Respawn. Kevin Borkowski, Mitch Lasky, former Activision guy who's now at Benchmark Capital. These are the people who helped really to inspire, motivate, and educate a small group of us that started this company in the early days. So appreciate that. Hopefully some of them are out there watching. I did want to talk a little bit. You'd asked me to come prepared to talk a little bit about the future vision. And so I thought I would share a bit of our thought process here on how we look out to the future. I think first and foremost for this audience that's watching today, it's really about the content. And we're committed to delivering you new content on a very regular basis. I'd say that schedule's not firm in place yet, but we're thinking, every other week, several times a month at least, we're going to be dropping new content for the audience, and that applies for consumers in your territory as well. We're committed to that process, and go ahead.
And that'll range from all sorts of content, from maps, the weapons, pawns, characters, all across.
Yeah, all across the board. And I'd say sprinkled, so yes, and I think sprinkled in with that is the ability to delight you all with new innovative types of content or maps or PvE types of modes that will spring on the community as well. So that's first and foremost. We really believe in the company in a future that's connected gameplay. So the experience you're witnessing here today, that you can have some type of a connected experience with this, with your friends, and your mobile devices. And that's all I'll say for today. We've been pretty cryptic, but know that we're quietly working behind the scenes very hard so that when you can't be at your computer, that you can take some type of experience of our game with you and play with your friends. We know that's how you want to play today. That's how we want to play today, and we're going to deliver that experience to you in some manner and fashion, and hopefully by the end of the year to do that. It goes along with that is that we believe in the future of mobile, tablets, and even web TV. I think web TVs, we've talked, is probably a couple years out from the hardware manufacturer's standpoint, but certainly nothing would prevent a game like this from running on web TVs, and maybe we'll see something at CES if that works out. We believe in a future where you, the users, if you so choose, can create content and have it published in the game, and perhaps there's a model where you can share in some revenue stream for that. That's a little bit down the road, but I think it's important. One of the lessons I learned in working, managing the id Software business for over 7 years was the importance of the community. We've seen that in your territory as well. That user-generated content is a really critical component. Many of you out there have sent me notes directly commenting about the desire to do that, and we will bring that to you at the appropriate time. So we'll kind of figure that out over time here as we go. I think we talked a little bit. I see a vision here for us making a specialized version for the Chinese marketplace and for your consumers. There certainly are some key differences for your consumers versus the preference around the world, and I think that those are compelling differences that can make our game better locally as well. But I really look forward to making you a very, very competitive, competent version that knocks the shit out of the competition in your marketplace so that we can win. I think that would be fun. A little archer behind us, maybe grabbing a beverage.
Not a